Hello everyone and welcome to the Vintage Sewing Machine Garage. You're looking at the debut video of my Singer 403A or Singer 403. This is the Singer 403 Slant-O-Matic. I have decided, I had restored this machine some time ago and was going to keep it for myself. But as in the past, I've come into a situation where there's been such a demand for sewing machines that have been overhauled and serviced that I actually sold my last machine a couple of days ago to someone who bought my Singer 1530 treadle. And that was the last machine I had ready. And so I have a Necky and I have this one, and I'm going to hold on to the Necky for now because I've got a project to do with it. But I've decided to sell the Singer 403A. I noticed that when I was servicing the motor that it had almost no wear on the commutator, the little copper ring, and that tells me this machine had very few hours ever. I mean, it's basically not worn out at all because I don't think whoever had it enjoyed sewing. Not everyone who had a sewing machine did as much sewing as you might think. And I can usually tell once I start looking at certain areas of the machine. This machine is in gorgeous shape. Cosmetically, she's really lovely. There's no paint chips here along the edge. Maybe a nick or two up top, but very clean as vintage machines go. She has had a full, she's got the full service treatment that I give all my machines, a full overhaul, restoration, if you will, and a full listing of the procedures that were done to get the machine ready, which is essentially what you're paying for when you get one of my machines, will be in the listing. And I'm not going to go over all of them here, but they will be in the listing for anyone who is local to me that would like to consider purchasing it. The 400 line that Singer introduced, 1956, 57, had the 404 straight stitch, 403, which takes all of the decorative stitch cams, and then the 401A. Now, I'm going to show you guys, I'm going to demonstrate the machine, and I'm also going to offer this machine differently than I normally do. Normally, when I sell a sewing machine, I typically sell it with what it came with. If it came in a table, that I price it with the table. If it came with a case or accessories or what have you. I typically keep everything together. But what I've decided to do in this case, I have noticed that there are times when people say, I really want that machine, but I want it, I want to get a case for it. Or someone says, hey, I really want this table, but I don't need this machine, I have another one. So what I've decided to do is I'm going to be selling the 403A, and I will be selling the table separately. The 403A can sit on a dining room table and be used. It's tabletop ready. So you don't need a table or a case to use it if you don't want. Some of you who are looking at this machine may have a case that you want to put it in, or you may have your own Singer table at home waiting for a new machine. So I'm trying to be flexible so that people don't feel like they have to buy it one way. You can have different options. Another option is I have every single one of the decorative stitch cams. I have a full collection of those cams. Very seldom do you see all of them together. They didn't come with the machine. I actually I started purchasing them and putting together a collection for myself, and I've decided not to hold on to it either because I'm not going to have time to start delving into the sewing projects that I had hoped to get to. But the one cam that is included with this machine, unless you're welcome to buy the whole decorative cam collection, but I'm going to sell that separately. Not everyone wants the decorative stitches, they just want straight and zigzag. But the one cam that will be included is the Zero cam, which does allow you to do zigzag. If you're ever looking at a 403 and you want to do zigzag, look inside, make sure that Zero cam is in there or it's somewhere with the owner, because you're going to need that to sew zigzag. This machine has it, and this machine will be sold with that cam. So don't worry, if you don't want the decorative cams, you're still going to get the zigzag cam. So let's see what else to say. She has her light there in front, works beautifully. Now this series of Slant-O-Matics was the first, to my knowledge, that Singer had that thread front to back, and most modern machines thread to front to back. And Singer went on in their manual to talk about how excited they were that this is the first machine to have a drop-in bobbin in front of the needle, and they go on and on about how awesome it is, and it is an awesome machine. This machine does not use belts. It is a direct drive. It is a very strong motor. Extremely strong motor in this machine, and there's no belt to change. It has its bobbin winder on the front. I love this design in particular. This particular Singer design, it's a very simple bobbin winding design. You have adjustable needle position. You can adjust it to the left, right, or center. And right now, it is in S for sewing or straight stitch, I believe. Anyway, I'm going to do a little demonstration for you guys and show you how it works. I've got the camera in front of me, so bear with me here because I need to, ergonomically, it's a little awkward to sew with a camera and a tripod in front of you, but I'll do my best. I've still got natural light here, but you know the days are getting shorter now. Okay, I thought I would show you guys. This is a medium weight, pretty well, medium heavyweight cotton. It's I'm going to sew through 2 layers, and then it'll hit another 2 with that seam. It'll hit 4 at different spots, and we'll just go through and I'll show you guys how she sews. And right now I've got her in the longest stitch length. This is the stitch length adjustment here. And we'll just do a straight stitch, let you guys see how she runs. Really lovely, really nice. This motor was overhauled along with the rest of the machine, and the new grease new lubrication, I should say, was given to the motor bearing, and that's really useful. These motors are so wonderful, but this one actually sounds like it should. Sometimes, you know, if a motor is starved of lubrication, it'll make louder sounds, but this one's lovingly quiet. Let's see. I'll actually shorten the stitch length. You guys we'll actually do a little shorter one just to show you. This is, by the way, is a rotary hook machine. So it gives you stitches that are incredibly straight. And I mean laser straight, which is amazing because this thing was built long before lasers were even thought about, which is a testament to its engineering, right? Because it's an analog machine. But what a machine it is. Of course, I say that about so many of the vintage machines I overhaul. I love them all. Okay, what we're going to do is I'm going to come over here and I'm going to show you guys the Zigzag. Now, this was not Singer's first zigzag sewing machine, but it was the first very successful zigzag machine. Singer was late to the zigzag party, not in industrials, but in home machines. They held off, and you know, the Necke company beat them to it. Get this little thread tail out of my way here. But when, and some of the early attempts that Singer had on zigzags, they were okay. Nothing wrong with them, but they were not a commercial success. And so they went back to the drawing board and they came out with this whole line of machines, starting with the 400 series and then the 500 and 600 later. Now, this, and I showed you guys when I was doing some videos on the restoration of this machine, one of the great engineering feats of this is called a floating needle bar. And you'll see when we're going to do a decorative stitch here in a little bit, and you'll see it's pretty darned amazing the way this thing can work and the way it was designed to work. And of course, this machine has been totally cleaned and lubricated, and that's very important when you're dealing with any machine that has more than straight. It's important for all machines, but particularly if you don't maintain machines that do zigzag and decorative stitching, if it sits in a barn for 30 years, then it gets cranky. But this machine had been very well loved and taken care of, and so I was able to go through it without any real hassle and get it all ready for you guys. Now, let's see. So we're going to do zigzag. I'm going to pull my needle up. I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to move it all the way over to 5. That's the widest setting. And we'll do a long zigzag. You'll see her hop right down here. And if you were wondering, of course, yes, she can go in reverse. Let me turn around here. I am going to show you guys the stitch quality here in a minute. Now, you'll see the first row of stitches I made is the long straight stitch. Beautiful, beautiful consistent stitch. Down here I shorten it, and you see that lovely Singer rotaries have this amazing short stitch. Most people use short stitches for knits mostly. And then here is the zigzag. So this is the machine, and I'll turn it over. I've got 2 colors of thread, and you can see beautifully balanced stitch on both sides. Just lovely. Let's go in and we'll do one more row on here, and I'm going to make a let's see. I'm going to make a a very short zigzag stitch. So we'll keep our, no, I know what I want. I want a short stitch. And then I'm going to have it wide. Let's see. And I've got a short stitch. Now let's shorten it even more and get it to a fine, sort of a fine length. And you'll notice she's feeding a lot more slowly right now. Oh yeah. And I'm not going as fast. This machine will go faster than what you're seeing me go through it now. But when I'm doing a short zigzag, which is essentially a satin stitch, I like to give the machine time to do it because it needs time to even get it even a little finer than that. It needs time to do all of its work. And there you have it, guys. I shortened it here and then I shortened it again, and you can see just this really beautiful satin stitch. You used to call them embroidery stitches. Now, let's see. I'm going to skip that. I'm going to do a decorative stitch. I want to show you guys what was all the fuss about with decorative stitches, right? So we'll go back to the same piece of fabric, but I'll go in and I'll show you how easy it is. This cam stuff is so simple. You could literally, you see it once and that's it, right? So the first thing we want to do is you want to move your lever back over to S, okay? S is like neutral ground, and that's what you want. You always want to go back to straight stitch when you want to pull your cam out. And the cam sits here, and when you go to put it in, see if I think I'm going to give you guys a better view of what I'm doing here so it makes more sense than just asking you to imagine it. So what you'll do is you'll notice that the cam has a large hole on the left there. You're going to find there's a little nub here, and you're going to find it, and then you simply push in, it snaps in. I've actually lubricated it's spring loaded, easy to do, and that's it. Now once you've gotten the cam in, it's interesting, and I think the way Singer used to market these things was think of all the variety of stitches you can do. And the reason they did that was whenever you are, I'm going to adjust the camera here for you guys just a bit. Whenever you are making any kind of stitch, when you adjust the length and the width, it changes the way it looks. So this is sort of an S shape to this particular stitch. So let's see what the decorative cam does, and let's see, of course we want to go ahead and change. We're going to go all the way wide. You can adjust this, of course, but I thought I would start that way. Now this is, oh wait a minute, I want to adjust the length for just a minute. Go back to long. We'll see what it's doing. And when I pull the fabric up for you guys in just a second, you'll understand why I'm doing this, because I want you to see how much variety. You think, well, gosh, I don't think, I forget how many total decorative stitches. It's 20-something stitches. It's a lot. And compared to modern computerized machines that have 100 or 200, you think, oh, that's not a lot. But remember, you can vary them. Now, I'm going to come up here. We're going to shorten the stitch. And it should give us a different look altogether. Let me shorten it even more. See what it does. Okay, so you guys can see, and just over here on the right, I started here, and this this shape, which you'll actually see when you elongate it on a very long stitch, it looks interesting. It's like a zigzag, and then it kind of looks straight and a zigzag, and you come down. But notice, as I kept getting shortening, I changed the length of the stitch and kept getting shorter. Finally, you get down to this. And this is the decorative stitch, right? And the whole big to-do about this in the late 50s was that, embroidery is extremely time-consuming. But they used to tell people, look what you can do. You can do all these embroidered designs. And I mean, it was pretty impressive to a lot of people. I think very few people actually used it, but some of you might. Anyway, this is just with one pattern. So notice you can vary it substantially, right? And here's the flip side. So you can change it, and there's a ton of different patterns. I'm not going to go through and talk to you all of them. That would be a great cure for insomnia. But anyway, I just wanted you guys to see this incredible machine. It's one of the great machines. Singer was still building incredible heirloom quality models in the 50s. And they would continue doing so until the early 60s when they finally gave up and started replacing some of those wonderful steel gears of theirs with other materials like nylon. But this is an all-metal machine. She is a gorgeous, beastly beauty. But anyway, if you would like to set up a time to see the machine, let me know, and I'll be happy to do so. So again, when you see the listing, you will see a listing for the price of the machine restored, including the Zigzag Cam, and then I will also be listing the decorative cam set separately, as I will the table, because I find that people often tell me they like having those options, right? So instead of charging more for this table, I really like this table. If you guys haven't figured out, I've mentioned it before because I've never seen one. The table actually opens up and creates this massive surface for large projects. But then when you're done, it all folds up. It's a great design. Some of you may have seen one before. If you have, you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, thanks for watching, everyone. I so appreciate you watching my channel. And now that I'm listing this machine, I've got a few machines that belong to clients that I am working on, trying to get those restored and ready for them. And then I will have I have 3 more machines, and that will probably be it for the season. We are going into winter, so I don't know how many machines I'll have available then. I'm not stopping restoring machines, but I'm going into the season where I'll be quite busy with work. But then in springtime, we'll be coming back with more. I say that, but who knows? I may just have the need to restore a machine. It's good. It's a good way to relax, and it's just it's very rewarding to take something that someone said, oh, I don't know if it runs. Yeah, you want that. And you take it and you realize it was just waiting for service. This machine has been woken up. She is ready to go. So again, please feel free to contact me at the listing. It will be listed on both Facebook and Kijiji. And if any of you see this machine and you have comments, feel free to share them down below. I appreciate it. And thanks for watching, and we'll see you again soon. Take care.